That's why I learned so much is from my mom. She's really smart and intelligent, and if I could tell you a million stories what she's gone through, but I don't have that kind of time to do that. So, let's wrap this up into our next subject. Now, I'm sure a lot of you parents are going to be happy, and I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of clapping. Parents, don't scold your children over this thing, okay? This one is obeying your parents. I could probably tell you a lot of stories about what my mom's done, and I've still been humbled. We've still done it anyway. But I'm not going to embarrass her, because I love her. And even though it seems unfair, and I'm sure a lot of you can't wait till you're 18, because I've probably done it before and said, well, as soon as I turn 18, you know, it's hasta la vista. But I still love you, Mommy.
Okay, that's good. Before we move on, I have a very exciting phrase and something fun for you guys to participate in. But this is how we're going to know you're paying attention. I'm going to say, we are, and then you guys have to say, children of excellence. So let's just practice it right now. We are. That was good. Okay, I want to remind you, I can say it throughout any of the message, so I'm going to know that you're paying attention if you're saying this. So, we are? Okay, that was good. Earlier I told you guys I wrote a book called Generation Excellence and You Survive by Through Life. I wrote this book because I feel like, if you guys just raise your hand if you feel like the youth of today has a couple problems, lots of problems, just raise your hand. Well, just anything, drugs, all this stuff. That's why I wrote this book, because just at 4th grade you can hear about stuff that only 8th graders should know about. The definition of Generation Excellence is a person who obeys their parents. Would you raise your hand if you obey your parents? A person who is responsible. Tell me if you're responsible. A person who is positive, if you're positive. An achiever. And a leader. And say no to peer pressure. And last, but the most important thing, finding their purpose in life. Okay, there's something I do in my message with all the kids, but you guys are not actually kids, but if you want to participate, it's okay. So I say, we are, and you guys say, Generation Excellence. So let's practice it. We are?
Generation Excellence.
This is good, because the last group I went to, they weren't exactly as enthused as you guys. Well, here's the solution. We can set new standards of excellence by having honest communication with our parents, by not talking back or disrespecting them, and by doing what we're told. Because the world is full of rules, and how can we obey the world's rules unless we can obey them at home first? Did you know that we're farmers in our own life? You are the farmer, your life is the ground, and every area of your life are the seeds. And that's what we teach kids, is that everything you do in your life is planting something for later. And that's why we say if you want to be good leaders of tomorrow, you have to start by being good leaders today, because the things you do now are going to affect you later in life. And that's what we teach the kids, that if they plant good seeds, they're going to get a good harvest back. I would like to share with you some disturbing stats. It has been reported in the next 24 hours in America, 1,400 kids will attempt to commit suicide. 6 of those attempts will end in death. 3,500 kids will run away from home, and 16 kids under the age of 19 will die from a gunshot wound. When you see these stats, it really bothers you. I don't know about you guys, it really bothers you that you see this generation falling so quickly. There's not even the pressures that you go through right now as adults. They're feeling like they have no way out. I'm sure you guys have lots of stress and things, but a lot of times when I talk to other kids, I see that they have a lot of stress. And this is personal to to me because I've had 3 previous cases where kids went up to me and said they wanted to commit suicide. 2 were at my old school, which is amazing. My mom couldn't believe that I would learn about this stuff in elementary, but it's true. And 1 was previously on the internet talking to kids how ways to get the fastest way, the quickest way, the most painless way to kill herself. So when I see this, I really want to lower these stats. I want to get these to 0. So you're like, okay, this is wonderful just to talk about, but how are we going to get kids to really stop turning to bad stuff and negative things and thinking the only way out, the only way for attention is depression and suicide? Well, here's the solution. Peer pressure and bullying will become extinct, and we would stand up for what is right. Stop being the audience for these bullies. Stop participating and gaming and bullying other kids. And saying no to all types of peer pressure. And we can also be great leaders in our lives by being our own person. And also learning how to love ourselves enough to build our self-esteem. And my mom says that the sky is unlimited. She says a lot of things, but the sky is unlimited. And either you can be ordinary or extraordinary. What's the difference from that word? It's the extra. And I teach the kids that come into my presentation, my classes, is to be something extra. And we as a generation have to do something extra. We as leaders, how many of you guys are leaders? We as leaders need to know how to find our purpose in life. As I said earlier, my generation will be our future doctors, police officers, presidents, authors, astronauts, just like you want to be presidents. Yeah, you can be a president. Instead of worrying about that D you got in science, say, I'm smart, I'm going to get that B next time. So how many of you guys are going to remember that you're a perfect painting, remember that going into a mirror and saying something positive is what Generation X stands for? Okay? Raise your hand. And there's this saying I want you to repeat after me. A positive word a day. A positive word a day. Keep low self-esteem away. So, what, are you going to say a negative word a day keeps low self-esteem away? No. What does that do? That keeps it coming, right? So I want you to say a positive word a day keeps low self-esteem away. What's your name?
Jeanette,
And Jeanette, what do you want to be?
teacher,
Teacher, and why is that?
educate kids.
That is wonderful. All right, let's give a round of applause for our examples here. But my mom has always told me, with those examples of occupations or careers or jobs, she's always told me that if we want to be good leaders of tomorrow, we have to start by being good leaders of today. If you're being tormented by a bully, here are some things you need to know. You are fine just the way you are. There's nothing wrong with you. Most bullies are only strong when they have an audience or a crowd. You don't have to go through it alone. Tell someone like a parent or a teacher or some adult or someone that you trust. Most bullies are only mean because they're having problems at home or they have a lower self-esteem than you do. So they're trying to make you feel bad so they can make themselves feel better. Peer pressure can be positive, but in most cases it's negative. Negative peer pressure is when someone forces you or dares you, or double dog dares you, or double D dog dares you to do something like stealing, or cheating, lying, doing drugs, teasing, picking on someone else, etc.
Dallas, thank you. Today's cool kid says she's part of Generation Excellence. She uses her own experiences to reach out and help other teens. Danny Romero introduces us to Rionna Smith.
How many of you guys are going to make sure that you...
Generation Excellence is an idea from our cool kid, Rionna Smith. It's an organization that helps young people with life's tough decisions. Rionna has an advantage in getting through to them. She's let them know that they share the same experience. While she is offering insight to young minds, she is getting back a great feeling. Giving guidance at a crucial time in a young life, She is our cool kid, Rionna Smith. Danny Romero, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Now, I'm sure you guys are all wondering what I'm going to talk about today. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is called PGF, putting God first. The second thing we're going to be talking about, see, most of you parents are going to be happy about this, obey your parents. And I'm sure that a lot of you kids are not very happy about that either. And then the third is living as a Christian. And what's it take and what do you got to put on every day when you go outside? Now, as kids, we do play hide and go seek and tag, and when we lose money in our Game Boys, we go after and seek for that. We'll tear up the whole house to find it. And that's what God wants us to do. He wants us to seek, not tear up our whole house to find them, because you don't need to actually find them. He's always there. How many of you boys and girls like Game Boys? Oh yeah, and PS2s. Now, when you lose that thing and your mom takes it away, you try to find it, right? Yes, I try to do that, and like marbles or any kind of thing like that. So the thing to learn for is today. My challenge for you guys today really is to really seek God first today and look for Him. Instead of looking for Game Boys and PS2, even though they're really cool and everything, and or any kind of else gadget you have, even though they're really cool, just back them away and give God a little time. Amen. Now, I'm sure a lot of you parents are going to be happy, and I'm sure I'm going to hear a lot of clapping. Parents, don't scold your children over this thing, okay? This one is obey your parents.
Right, that's right. Yes.
I'll tell you the truth. I really thought this was weird. Like, I could probably tell you a lot of stories about what my mom's done, and I've still been humbled. We've still done it anyway. But I'm not going to embarrass her, because I love her. I'm sure that a lot of us children have had to obey our parents even though we didn't want to. Like certain situations, like, you know how they say moms know best and stuff like that. Like if you wanted to go to a party and they say, oh, sweetie, you know, I was trying to protect you, and I love you so much, and the Lord is telling me to protect you and everything. Now, we get a little promise if we obey our parents. And this is really happy for me because, you know, we think, oh yeah, they get to boss us around. And, you know, this one says the first commandment was a promise. Now this commandment, it was already told when I read it, you will live a long life. And even though it seems unfair, and I'm sure a lot of you can't wait till you're 18, because I've probably done it before and said, well, as soon as I turn 18, you know, it's hasta la vista. But I still love you, Mommy. There's a lot of you teenagers out here that probably go through worse than I do, and I just bless you all. All these teachings that I've taught have wrapped into each other, really, because by putting Him first, you can pray that you would obey your parents, and that you would live as a Christian and put your full armor on and be the light of the world, and so on and so forth. And you can pray for a whole lot of other things, because I like to pray for the peace of Israel and all these other Pakistan. I like to pray for other people besides myself.
This is how we're going to know you're paying attention. I'm going to say, we are. And then you guys have to say, children of excellence. So let's just practice it right now. We are. That was good. Okay, I want to remind you, I can say it throughout any one message. So I'm going to know that you're paying attention if you're saying this. So, we are. Okay, that was good. Earlier I told you guys that, thank you guys for paying attention. Earlier I told you guys I wrote a book called Generation Excellence, You Survive by Through Life, and I have a ministry with the same name, except that You Survive by Life. I wrote this book because I feel like, if you guys just raise your hand if you feel like the youth of today has a couple problems, lots of problems, just raise them high. Well, just anything, drugs, all this stuff. That's why I wrote this book, because just at 4th grade, you can hear about stuff that only 8th graders should know about. So, you know, I really want you to think about that. The definition of Generation Excellence is a person who's devoted their lives to Christ, and I want you to raise your hands if you have devoted your life to Christ. A person who obeys their parents. Would you raise your hand if you obey your parents? A person who is responsible. Tell me if you're responsible. A person who is positive, if you're positive. An achiever. And a leader. And say no to peer pressure and temptation. And last, but the most important thing, finding their purpose in life. What I'm saying basically there is that when you're a Christian, you know, you need to build a relationship. That's one of the ways you build a relationship. How many of you guys have friends? Or best friends or homies, whatever? I'm sure when you have a relationship with your friend, you have to build one, right? Like, you know what your friend likes and dislikes, or her favorite songs, or his favorite songs are, or his favorite car, whatever. That's a very important thing. Like, there's so many distractions like TV, Nintendo, and all that stuff that's keeping God second, third, and fourth. So first, what do we have to do? We have to keep Him first, right? So I say, we have to keep Him first. Yeah, we have to keep Him first. That's a very important. This is a saying that Lord led me to make. He helped me to make up is when you guys wake up, before you see the sun, put God number one. Is what something we all need help with. Is how to obey and respect our parents. I want you guys to raise your hand high if you have sometimes problems obeying your parents, or you don't like some of the things they say, right? Let's just say you want to go somewhere and they don't like you get mad, right, sometimes. So I want to see it really high. I want to see it. Now, does anybody know what I'm saying about that, what the Lord is promising in that scripture? What He's saying is, your parents were sent on this earth to protect you and to guide you in the right ways of the Lord. So one of the important things is when you obey and respect your parents, you're going to get blessings too. You're going to live a long life, prosperous, and most of all, you're going to have a good relationship with the Lord. But for instance, with me, my mom's right there, and I have a very good relationship with her, and it's not always perfect. I'm not trying to pretend we're like, you know, just like perfect. But we pretty much laugh and tell each other everything. So she's very special with me. And when she does something that maybe I don't like, instead of always getting mad, I have to swallow my pride. Okay, how many of you guys have trouble talking back to your parents? You know, sometimes you're saying things that might hurt their feelings, or they say something you might not like, and you guys just have this bitter battle words. The Bible says that in Proverbs 15:1, it says, a soft answer turns away wrath. So basically, that's what it's saying is, what it's saying is, let's just say, let's use this scenario. When your parents tell you to clean up, are you going to A, do it with an attitude and say and fuss? Or B, are you going to not do it at all and like, she's not the boss of me? C, you're going to do it with a cheerful attitude, with a good response and a happy, joyful response to the Lord's will bless you? Or D, none of the above? Start over here. What is it? D! Okay, that's good. Do you know what that means? That seek means to go after, to look for. And if you look after God, you put him first. I'm sure a lot of you have lots of things. Who likes listening to music, playing video games, watching TV? Well, I'm sure that sometimes, I will be honest, that sometimes I wake up in the morning and I forget to put God first. But I forget how important it is. It's important to put God first. You know why? Because you're building a relationship with God. You're saying, Lord, I'm giving you the first part of my day. And that's how you're building a relationship with Lord. Putting God first, there's a saying. It says, before you see the sun, put God number one. So everybody repeat that saying after me. Before you see the sun, put God number one. Okay, so before you wake up in the morning, are you going to go turn the TV on or brush your teeth or go and eat? What are you going to do? Are you going to do that? Put God first, right? Okay, that brings us to the Bible. How many of you guys have a Bible at home? Did you know it's just not a book? The Bible is truly powerful. And I'm going to explain to you before I read our scripture, the Bible is actually God's way of giving you a guideline that you can live by. So if you're praising and worshiping the Lord, how many of you guys, sometimes you're in a place where you can't praise and worship? How many of you guys sometimes bring your Bible along? Remember, it's I say we are. Okay, I, me, okay? And you guys say, Generation Excellence. Exactly. Generation Excellence. Let's try it one more time. We are? Okay, the full armor of God is not knight armor, so don't get confused, not something you can buy at a store. It's spiritual armor. You know, you can do a lot when you have time with God. You can fill in a lot of things that you have trouble with. And before you go out on your day, put the full armor of God on. Say, Lord, I pray that you protect me, and that's going to keep you protected from all the bad things that can happen, temptation, peer pressure, whatever. So I want you guys to say the same with me. It goes, gear up before you get up. Before you get up, before you start doing everything you do, gear up. Put your full armor of God on, your spiritual armor on. That will protect you. So gear up. Before you get up. Good job, you guys. Is how many of you guys have had trouble obeying your parents? Well, did you know I have something very shocking to you? Did you know the world is full of rules? Then how could you obey the world's rules if you can't first obey your parents' rules? Explain that to me. You guys think that you can obey the government's rules or the world's rules? You know, you can't just go speeding on Route 66 at 80 miles an hour if it says 60. That's breaking the law. So if you can't obey your parents, how are you going to obey the world's rules? So that's something you can think. Only reason your parents are having responsibilities for you is so that you can grow responsible and become mature and get you prepared for the life ahead of you. How many of you guys have had trouble talking back? I know you guys are raising your hand a lot, but I want to see how many people. Be honest. Have you ever said mean things to your parents and other adults? Well, that exactly brings us back to what I was saying, is that you have to have respectful and obey your parents because there are rules. How do you guys see yourself? Do you guys see yourself fat, stupid, ugly, dumb? Is anyone in this room that thinks they're that? Because if you think that you're fat, stupid, ugly, or dumb, you're wrong. You're wrong. You know why you're wrong? Because God made you a perfect painting. God made you something special. Did you know that isn't God perfect? Does he do any wrong? So if he obviously made you, then he made you perfect, right? He made you perfect in his eyes. So instead of saying I'm fat and I'm ugly and I'm dumb, speak something positive in your life. So everybody repeat after me. Father God, I believe that Jesus Christ is your son, who died on the cross for all my sins. God raised him from the dead. Jesus, come into my heart. From this day forward, I'm a child of God. I didn't hear that louder. I'm a child of God. In Jesus' name, amen. Good job. Thank you guys so much for coming because, you know, it's not just me who appreciates it, it's God. So thank you.
So anyways, boys and girls, our story today was so awesome about Jesus returning. Rionna, what do you think about that? Well, first of all, what do you think about Jesus dying on the cross? Why do you think he died on the cross for us?
Maybe because he loved us and he wanted to die for our sins so he can visit us whenever he wants to in heaven, and we can teach people who don't know him, and so they can teach other people who don't know him, and we all have lots of people in our Christian family.
That's right. That's awesome. That's very good. And I know earlier you told me he died on the cross because he loved us so much, and he didn't even know us. And you know what? Jesus did. He loved us so much. Before you were even born, he loved you and died on the cross just for you way back then.
Hebrews 4:14. Jesus, the Son of God, is our great high priest, has gone to heaven itself to help us. Therefore, let us never stop trusting in him.
That's right. Have you ever found it hard to not trust in the Lord?
Sometimes.
Sometimes it is, isn't it? We get in situations and we just think we're all alone. But you know what, boys and girls? You need to trust in Jesus because he's always there waiting to hear from you so he can work out any situation. And there's no situation too hard for Jesus. Isn't that awesome too? But we've got an awesome memory verse for today, boys and girls, that I want you to pay very close attention to. Rionna, are you going to tell us the memory verse for today?
Yes.
Okay.
Dear children, keep away from anything that might take God's place in your heart.
Oh, my goodness.
1 John 5:21.
Excellent job. Very, very good. But boys and girls, what would be some of the things that might take away, what would you think would take the place of Jesus in your heart?
TV and food and fun things.
Oh, my goodness.
And,
you're on a roll.
And things like activities and friends and things you like to do can take place in your heart.
That's right. And our memory verse today is going to be told by Miss Rionna. Will you please tell us our memory verse?
Okay.
Okay.
Hebrews 4:14. Jesus, the Son of God, is our great high priest, has gone to heaven itself to help us. Therefore, let us never stop trusting in him.
All right. Good job. Big high five on that, Rionna. What do you think about kids? Did she do a good job? Awesome job. Well, boys and girls, during the show, she's going to be saying that again, and at the end, we're all going to say it with her. Curtain, climb in, Kids Club! Well, welcome to the Kids Club, boys and girls. I'm Gina Thompson, and I am here with Miss
Rionna
and Miss Holly, and we are here in front of the Goodyear blimp. Oh, my goodness, it's humongous. And boys and girls, we are so excited. Rionna and Holly are really excited. I'm terrified because, I don't know, I'm just like, you know, it's got that little tire in the back and the little engine things look kind of small and that big old honking blimp. And then Rionna had to say, well, what if a big gust of wind comes up and we end up in some desert island or something? I was like, wow, hey, that could be fun. What do you think about that, Rionna?
I know, but
then you remembered what?
the blood of Jesus around us.
That's right. We have the blood of Jesus around us, and we are going to be safe. No weapon formed against finances shall prosper today. How about you, Miss Rionna?
I think you have to store up heavenly treasures in heaven, like Bible and Jesus and like joy and happiness, peace and love.
Yes, that's right. Those are all our heavenly treasures, aren't they? Well, welcome to Kids Club, boys and girls. I'm Gina Thompson, and I'm so glad you joined us here on the Kids Club because we have got a great show just for you. And girls, that's an awesome scripture. Thank you, Rionna. And you know what? We're all going to have a chance to say it again at the end of the show, so I'll be looking forward to
Dear children, keep away from anything that might take God's place in your heart. 1 John 5:21. Children, I forgot. Dear children, keep away from that. From evil. No, keep from anything. Keep away from anything that... You messed me up. Keep away from anything that might take God... Hold on, I messed up. Well, Mark, this is the last time, hopefully. Anything that might be... He's saying it with me. Was that on air? Kids Club!